Welcome to Mythical Phylogeny Adventures. I'm your guide Jason. I've said it before, the most common mythical creatures are derived from horses, such as the seahorse, hippocampus, the winged pegasus, and more. But what about a dragon horse? I present to you the Longma. The Longma comes from Chinese mythology, and its name does mean dragon horse. Yeah, got to love these original names. So what does the Longma look like? Let's start with a horse body and then cover it in scales. Its head looks like that of an Asian dragon, and often with wings. It is as adept at swimming as it is with flying. Now where do you think this creature came from? Well, if you guess the mating of a dragon and a horse, then you are right. Is this a Dovahkiin? Well, it may not have been a normal horse. Some say it was the celestial horse, Tianma. So, not a normal horse. Potentially, it is a dragon mixed with a divine beast. It is said to have a red body representing good luck, and those that see it are destined to be successful. Its mane and tail are white hair and means purity. The scales on its body are found in gold, silver, green, and blue, which is said to mean ideas like wisdom, courage, and wealth. Oh, and like many dragons, it can breathe fire. And we have a viable measurement on its height. There were additional names tied to horse heights. At 6 feet, it is Ma. 7 feet was Lai. And lastly, there is Long, which is 8 feet. And that does match the heights described. Mind you, that is the traditional Chinese foot, not the standard modern one. This is about 0.9 feet or 30 centimeters on the high end, but the low end is 20 centimeters or 0.6 feet. It appears in many different legends from China. Probably the most well-known is the meeting with the sage king, Fu Xi. The Longma emerged from the river with the Hitu, or the Yellow River map. This map was filled with the constellations of dots, which revealed the bones or foundations of the universe. In another tale, it brought forth a red and green scaly kuros, and with it was divine messages or schemes to guide him. There are several emperors of China which have claimed to meet or see the Longma, and they use it as divine proclamation of their rule. That's a bit to begin with. So what would it take to make such a beast? The first issue is flight. It is said to be the size of a large horse, a big one. A Clydesdale horse is about 6 feet tall, so we can use this as an estimate of the size of the Longma. And they weigh 2,300 pounds, or 1,043 kilograms. So it's pretty heavy. And the largest flying animal in history is Quetzalcoatlus. This petrosaur has some wild estimates on its size, thanks to the problems of the fossil record. Its wingspan was estimated to be 12 meters, 40 feet, but bigger ones give it double. As for its weight, we are looking at 200 to 250 kilograms, 440 to 550 pounds, but others say a fifth of that. Got to love relying on broken records to try and figure out flying animals. You would think that I have these numbers memorized, since I need them every time I do some sort of giant winged animal. But I don't, sadly. So, we are looking at something 4 times the weight of the largest flying animal in history. And to get the lift we need to increase the wing's surface area. That means we are looking at a wingspan pushing 200 feet, 61 meters. Do you know what the wingspan of a 747 is? Yeah, it's right at the same size, or about 4 basketball courts wide. I'm sorry, that's insane. Have you seen those things turn? They aren't known for maneuverability. That's an unwieldy size. You won't be getting clearance to swing those wings without dragging them in the ground. And each beat of those wings is going to put incredible strain on the joints and tissue. Not to mention, it'll create currents and swelling in the wingtips with every beat. No, these wings won't work. Too big, too long. And all of this is even before we get to wing shapes. Now, it is said to have reptilian wings, but there are different shapes on those too. Hovering wings won't really work here, since that requires a low body weight. A similar issue with the elliptical wings found on sparrows and songbirds. Active soaring wings are extra long and good for prolonged flights without needing much energy. Yet, that isn't a good match. There are 2 remaining types, and I am torn on these. Either could work. The passive soaring wings like eagles, and the high-speed wing like ducks. And I like the passive soaring here, since they are designed to catch thermal updrifts to help gain lift. But I have another option, thanks to my high school friend Darren. He used to make these silly little comics about a dragon, and his method to make dragons fly was to turn them into blimps. Literally filling them with helium, or in this case hydrogen gas. Remember, it is said to breathe fire, so it needs something combustible inside. So, if we fill Longma with hydrogen gas, we might be able to get some lift here. Is this practical? No, not at all. But otherwise, how are we going to get this thing airborne without magic? Even with the hydrogen trick, it might not get our dragon horse up and going. So it might still need magical assistance to get up. And there is a second reason I think we need an alternative route. The Longma is as good a swimmer as it is a flyer. And if you have wings that span hundreds of feet, that won't work in water. No matter how much you fold those wings up, they would create issues and massive amounts of drag. No, you can't swim with wings like that. Sure, having its body filled with hydrogen would make it float, but that can be regulated using its digestive tract. This limitation would mean it can't go from swimming to flying right away. If this thing is a dragon, we can assume that its scales are strong and durable. Overall, this creature is bound by many of the same limitations that other winged mythical creatures have. So, how would we defeat this dragon? It is said to have fangs and hooves. Those hooves will hurt. Your best bet would be plate armor. Neither chainmail nor gambeson is going to absorb the impact. Its fangs, however, would be stopped by those, though they may hurt. And I'm not sure as to Longma's biting power. It is said to be a dragon's head, which means reptilian. So potentially, we could compare it to a crocodile, which could break bones. Main point is not to let it bite you, or kick you. But we've got another issue. It breathes fire! That's going to be an issue if you get caught in it. And plate armor is going to get seared to your skin. If not, you're in an oven. So, it's got a counter to your armor too. And there is something you will need to do. Dodge. You've got to dodge every attack this thing throws at you. Make sure you have fire resistance ready. Magic is going to be important. Ice and water magic could help protect you, and if you combined it in ice, you could hold it down. Just remember, this thing is a dragon, and that means it will likely resist any spell you use. But if I'm right about the hydrogen used to promote flight, I would avoid fire spells, unless you want to blow yourself up. And there's a good chance that it would survive the blast, unless you can get it to go off inside its body. Then it might get some damage, but not worth the risk. So melee might be the best option. This is a dragon, and those scales are going to be tough. Pick something you're good with. A spear will offer you reach, and a shield will help keep its attack off you. A bow and arrow is also an option, but you will need more power to get through its defenses. This will also help you reach it while airborne. The Longma isn't going to be an easy foe. It's going to have the defenses to stop your offenses, and it's covered in range and melee for its offenses. You'll need to prepare and plan before this fight begins. And even when you do begin, it's going to be difficult. I'm going to give the Longma a 6 of 10 for difficulty. Yet I have one question. Are you freaking stupid? If you slay the Longma, you get its hide. And its dragon scale. That is the material of legend in most settings. It can make incredible armor. And that is before we add in its bones and meat. Both will be valuable to be sure. You need to be careful harvesting it though, since it might have a high hydrogen concentration. I don't know if it's really edible, but I'm sure some alchemists would love to work with it. Yet I need to repeat that question. Are you freaking stupid? Why the blazes would you ever want to slay a Longma? Just seeing this creature brings good fortune and foretells of your successes. This is a beast which emperors have bragged about seeing. It was their guide. And it did the same for the Sage King, Fu Shi. It brought valuable scrolls which guided China for ages. This cannot be underestimated how important its help can be. It also brought armor as well. Potentially, there's more it can bring. And if you could ally with it, good lord do you get something. This is a dragon. It's strong, powerful, intelligent, and it breathes fire. In battle, that is going to be a powerful ally. Outside of that, it can fly you around. And that is before any political influences. If the locals revere the Longma like it was in China, just riding around on one will turn people to your side. Yeah, there is much more to gain by keeping it alive. Even if all you do is let it run around, it may come to your aid when you need it. And there isn't even a tale of it being hostile to humans. Nope, not one. There is little downside to having this creature running around. Nope, I would actually encourage you to bring them to the area. The Longma is an interesting addition to the winged horses trope in fantasy. It's nice to mix a dragon instead of a bird. It gives some help in getting it airborne, and offers some differences in its abilities compared to things like the Pegasus. It has been a boon to emperors of China, and heavily inspired much of their culture. Thank you for watching, adventurers. Please return next time. Until then, I'll see you on the roads.